The final boss of Toontown Online is the Bossbot C.E.O, consisting of 2 cog rounds, a feeding round, and the final round against the C.E.O himself. This boss also uses the tiering system found in the CJ, but this affects the feeding and second cog rounds primarily. To put it briefly, since I'm doing a flunky level 1 run, I'm getting the least amount of cogs in the feeding round, and they will all be corporate raiders. I had prepared the most for this boss fight, even as far back as when I finished the BP run. Even though the CJ's final round is the hardest in my current state as an incompletable thing, I find the C.E.O to be the hardest boss to solo, as I have to deal with a level pool of 206, effectively doubled to 512 in a solo. This sounds easier as the level pool itself is lower than the CJ's 275 base pool, but one thing to note is that every cog in the C.E.O boss fight is a 2.0 cog, which is a unique cog type found in cog golf courses in the C.E.O fight, where they have the outer regular shell, then the Skelecog shell that, in most instances, will regenerate all of their health upon destruction of the first shell, and I have to deal with the same cog again. This effectively means that I'm dealing with a quadrupled level pool, as I have to fight every cog twice. The effective level pool I need to fight is 1024. All of these cogs range from levels 9 to 12, but this high of a level pool means that no matter what I do, I'm going to be stuck here for a while. One unique quirk to dealing with 2.0 cogs though, exclusive to Toontown Online, is carryover damage. This was assumed to be a buggy and inconsistent mechanic, but it's actually more consistent than you think. In short, the damage you deal to the first shell of a 2.0 cog can carry over to the Skelecog round as long as it's 2 or 3 in group play, separate instances of damage. The only relevant way that I can do that in a solo is with lure, so if I kill the first shell of a cog with a lured birthday cake that's enough to take out the first shell, for example, then the first shell will die from the initial 100 hit, fully regen its health as a Skelecog, then take 50 damage from the knockback bonus. In group play, the 20% combo damage bonus would also apply to the Skelecog in this scenario if another player used throw, but I don't have that luxury. Regardless, I won't really be able to take advantage of this, but it could help me in the right scenario. When a 2.0 turns into a Skelecog, it also won't attack me on that same turn. I can minimize damage received a little bit this way, but with how bulky C.E.O cogs are, it's hard to avoid taking damage from all 4 without resorting to stall tactics like lure plus cogs miss. The C.E.O fight begins with good old Gil Giggles wanting me to fight the waiters. To avoid redundancy, I won't be specifying any cog as a 2.0, as all of them are going to be. I'm greeted with 3 level 12s and a level 9. I open with a presentation and cake the first level 12. I dodge its attack and lure with a $10 bill. I finish it off with a Storm Cloud, dealing an extra 40 damage to the Skelecog shell as well thanks to carryover. I lure with $10 bill again, and kill the same cog with the birthday cake. A level 9 downsizer enters and I lure it with $10 bill. I then go for another level 12 with cake and lure it again. Then follow up with Storm to take out the first shell and deal 40 damage to the Skelecog. I lure once more and take the hit from the downsizer, which isn't much. I lure it to keep it stunned for now. After healing 10 laugh, I finish off 3 of these cogs with a wedding cake while also applying 60 damage to the Skelecog shells of 2 level 9s, and dealing significant damage to the third level 12. A level 9 cheese comes in and I decide that 64 laugh is safe enough for now since I can kill 3 of these cogs with fog and leave the new level 9 cheese with 60 health left. I drop down to 48 laugh and get 2 level 10 headhunters. I take a safe move here and call on Stinky Ned for a guaranteed lure and follow up with Daffy Don for a full heal. I then go for Geyser to get 53 damage on the level 9 cheese's Skelecog, kill the first shells of the headhunters, and deal significant damage to the level 12. I Hypno since I'm still very healthy and try to use my Doodle, which fails. I try to Doodle again, and this time it actually jumps, bringing me to 91 laugh. I have a jump once more to get me to near full laugh. I go for Fog as all of the cogs are waking up anyway, killing the level 12 in the process. I drop down to 52 laugh and a level 10 Raider enters. I decide to kill 3 of the cogs with Opera, as I honestly don't know when I would use my Opera anyway after this. I get a lucky dodge against the Raider, and 3 more level 10s enter. I use a Nancy Gas to ensure that the cogs are all lured. While they're lured, I heal up to 82 laugh and use Flim Flam to avoid damage on the unluring cogs. I take the gamble to Toontanic, and it misses. Since I healed up to 82, I'm actually at risk of dying here, but one of the Raiders and the Headhunter go for their weaker attacks, giving me a second chance. I use Sneaky Ned and immediately heal back to full laugh with Flippy. I take out the first shell of the far right Raider and go for Piano, but the Piano misses. Since the lure is about to expire, I go for Fog to get damage on all of them. I re-lure the cogs with Nancy Gas and heal back to 89 with Daffy Don, then kill the Skelecog with whole cream. A level 11 cheese arrives and I go for Piano, which misses. I dodge its attack so I try to Piano again, which works this time. The other cogs wake up from lure and bring me to 38 laugh. I decide to kill the first shells of the level 10s with Franz to get good damage on the 11. I then use Nancy Gas to lure all the Skelecogs, heal to 91 with Daffy Don, then restock all of my gags with Professor Pete. With these high level cogs, I really can't afford to stay without my level 6 gags for too long. I kill the level 11 with a whole cream, and another level 11 cheese enters. I go for Flim Flam to avoid receiving damage this turn. I lure all the cogs with Hypno and take out the first shell of the 11 with the cake. I go for a piano to follow up, and it takes out the Skelecog. Another level 11 enters, and I go for a piano, working once more to take out the first shell. Since I don't risk dying this turn and the cogs are waking up, I take this opportunity to set up a railroad. I'm brought down to 50 laugh and use a Nancy Gas to guarantee the railroad kill on all of the Skelecogs. A fresh wave of 11s drop onto the field, and I lure them with another Nancy Gas, then heal myself up to full with Daffy Don. I take out the first shell of one of the 11s with Birthday Cake and follow up with Piano, which takes out the Skelecog. Yet another level 11 enters, so I fog to get damage on all of the cogs. I take significant damage, but I do dodge the last hit, so I'm only brought to 46 laugh. I use Nancy Gas and fully heal with Daffy Don. I take out the first shells of 3 level 11s with Storms, which in the span of those 3 turns I drop down to 35 laugh. I lure again with Nancy Gas and heal to full with Daffy Don. I take out the first shell of the last regular cog on the field with Birthday Cake, dealing 55 damage to its Skelecog in the process. I use Mozart the following turn to deal significant damage to all the Skelecogs. They bring me down to 26 laugh, so I use another Nancy Gas to lure them all. Fully heal with Daffy Don, then take out the weakest Skelecog with a whole cream. A level 10 then drops into the field, and I decide to go for a save, which misses. I don't get punished too hard, but I decide to Mozart anyway to at least kill the Skelecogs before they unlure. 3 more level 10s enter, and I go for Hypno, which connects. I use my Doodle to heal up to 80, then kill the damaged first shell 10 with whole cream, dealing 22 damage to the Skelecog in the process. I use Flim Flam to avoid damage the following turn. I use another Hypno and heal to 100 with my Doodle. I follow up with a Fog this time as I don't have any risk of dying this turn. Going down to 45 laugh, I opt to kill the first shells of 3 cogs and the Skelecog with a Franz. Another level 10 appears, so I use a Nancy Gas and heal to full with Daffy Don. I use Professor Pete to restock my gags again. I go for Cake to take out the first shell of a level 10, then Flim Flam to avoid all damage the following turn. Being at full laugh against a row of full health level 10s, I decide to Franz so I can follow up with killing them all next turn. I only go down to 63 laugh, so I fog to kill all of them without healing. 2 level 10s and 2 level 11s appear, so I use Nancy Gas, then kill an 11's first shell with Birthday Cake. Following up with a Piano results in a miss, so I'm brought down to 47 laugh. I try to Piano again, which works. A level 12 enters the field, and I go for Flim Flam to avoid damage as all the lured cogs will be waking up this turn. I use the classic Nancy Gas into Daffy Don combo, then hit the level 12 with Storm for 120 damage. I finish it off with another Storm for the clean 200 total damage kill on its first shell. I then use Flim Flam to avoid damage on the following turn. While 83 laugh is a bit risky, I still go for Franz to get high damage on everything, taking my chances that there will be a weaker attack used or a miss from any of the cogs, which I luckily get weaker attacks and a dodge, going down to only 34 laugh instead. I finish off the first shell of 3 cogs and bring the 12 to 20 health with a Mozart. Now that I'm at 14 laugh, I use Nancy Gas into Flippy, then kill the level 11 with Cake. Another level 12 enters the field, and I decide to try to Piano, which actually connects. I finish off the first shell of the 12 and kill the Skelecog 12 with Fog, while dealing decent damage to the 10s. Another level 12 is added to the fight, and I go for Franz, killing the 10s in the process, but only getting 12s to 100 health remaining. I'm brought down to 12 laugh, and 2 more level 12s enter the field. Another Nancy Gas into Flippy brings me to safety, and I finish off the Skelecog with a Storm. Another level 12 arrives, and I set up a TNT on this new cog, dodging its attack in the process. Since the lure 12s are waking up this turn, I go for Flim Flam to ensure that I can lure without risk the following turn. My Hypno connects, and I get huge damage on the 12. I go for $10 bill and cream the other 12 that had 100 health remaining, bringing it down to 34 health. At 63 laugh, I can afford to take 2 hits, so I clear the first shells of 2 level 12s with Fog and get a little bit of damage on the other 2 12s. I use Nancy Gas, Daffy Don, and Pete for this row of 12s, as the only gags I had left do pitiful damage relative to their health. I take out the first shell of another 12 with Cake, then Flim Flam for safety. My Hypno on the following turn misses, bringing me to 23 laugh, but Nancy Gas into another Daffy Don patches me up quick. I take out the last 12's first shell with Cake. With another row of fresh 200 health 12s, I decide to use my Doodle to get the full laugh, although that's undone by the unlured 12's attack on the same turn. I didn't want to lure since the other 12s are unluring the following turn, but I also didn't want to risk wasting a gag on a potential miss. I use Flim Flam on the turn the other cogs on lure, and then use a Nancy Gas to refresh lure once more. I heal back to full with my Doodle, then use a Storm on one of the 12s. I use another Flim Flam as the cogs are unluring again. Being a bit fed up with this wall of 12s, I go for Franz to kill one and get good damage on the others. A level 9 enters the fight, and I go for one more Franz to kill the remaining 12s, and nearly take out the first shell of the 9. I dodge his attack, and a 10, 12, and 9 are added into the next round. I use another Nancy Gas Daffy Don combo, then storm the level 9 Raider to take out its first shell. I get big damage on the 12 with a cake the following turn, then take out the first shell of that 12 and the level 9 cheese with fog while dealing decent damage to the others. Being brought down to 47 laugh calls for another Nancy Gas Daffy Don play, then I storm the 12 to get it low enough for a Mozart kill for that cog and the level 9 Raider. The final cog of this round enters, and it's a level 9 Headhunter, so I kill the level 9 Skelecog, take up the first shell of the 10, and deal decent damage to the Headhunter with Fog. I go for Hypno and take out the first shell of the Headhunter with Whole Cream, then Piano, which misses. I try another Piano and it connects, killing the Headhunter Skelecog. All that's left is the level 10 Skelecog, so I Whole Cream and $10 bill. I full heal with Daffy Don, restock all of my gags with Pete, then finish off the Skelecog with a Whole Cream, ending the first round. Before actually talking about the feeding round, I specifically ensured that I had the correct rewards for this. I deliberately made sure that Bessie SOS cards weren't used at all in the CFO, CJ, and the first round of the CEO, despite the fact that I had a few cases of using other drop SOS cards. I saved them specifically for the CEO second cog round. I have 44 Bessies and additionally 20 Clara cards, the latter being a Trap SOS that does 180 to all cogs on the field, as long as they're lured the following turn. This is because of the feeding round, which in a funky level 1 run, I will have 32 2.0 cogs to deal with, so an effective total of 64 cogs. After dealing with the first round's absurd effective level pool, I am not going to avoid cheesing the second cog round. The feeding round itself is no big deal, being a 5-minute round where I need to feed each cog 3 times in order to kill it, so I don't have to fight it in the upcoming second cog round. Being alone against 32 cogs, there's no way I'm gonna fully clear out the tables, but I can feed as many as I can. Unlike in TTR, the only way for my feeding to be effective is to actually feed them all 3 times so they die. They do not receive any kind of damage from being fed 1 or 2 times. To sum up the 5-minute round, I managed to kill off 8 cogs, meaning I only need to deal with 24 2.0s, or 48 effective total cogs, plus 2 more from the level 12 2.0 cheeses. The CEO wises up to seeing the cogs die right in front of his eyes after that 5 minutes and the second cog round begins. The goal here for me is to simply kill off these 2 cheeses and win with a flowchart strategy. I go for Hypno, then storm one of the cheeses. 2 of the Raiders enter the fight, which caught me a bit off guard, as I'm used to TTR's case where they actually don't enter the field until you've killed all the cogs that are currently being dealt with. So I decide to use a Bessie to take out the first shells of 3 cogs. Unfortunately, since the other cheese is lured, it indirectly dodges the Piano from Bessie. I go for Hypno again, and it connects. I storm the other level 12 that's still in its first shell, then take out that shell with another storm. I weaken it with a hose, and I'm dropped down to 41 laugh after these turns. I go for my final Flim Flam to guarantee my safety for the unluring, then go for a Nancy Gas so I can finish setting up. Daffy Don brings me to full, then I weaken the other 12 with a hose. I use Julius Weezer, another Cogs Miss SOS card, to guarantee safety as the cogs are going to unlure again. I go for Bessie to kill off every cog. Now begins the flowchart that I would like to call the culling of Bossbot HQ. A full set of Raiders enter the field again, and I go for Bessie, taking out the first shells in one go. I use Nancy Gas so I can afford to heal up to full laugh before going further, which I do with my Doodle. Julius Weezer debuffs the cogs again, and I go for Clara to set up TNTs on all the Skelecogs. I use Nancy Gas to ensure the lure connects, killing all the Skelecogs. I repeat this strategy for the rest of the second cog round, only taking one set to just double Bessie instead of Clara, because I had the opportunity to do so thanks to killing 8 cogs in the feeding round. I'm eventually left with 2 Raiders remaining, so I Hypno them both, then Cake and Piano one of them for a quick kill. The other one has its first shell taken out by Cake, then I lure with $10 bill which misses. I get brought down to 43 and lure again, which works this time. I heal to full with one more Daffy Don, then take a quick break because I've been in this boss fight for an hour and a half. After my brief break, I finish off the final cog with a birthday cake, ending the second cog round. All that's left now is the CEO himself. This guy is quite beefy relative to how much damage I can do. He has the same amount of health as the CFO, being 500, but I can only deal 2, 4, and 6 damage based on the charge level of my seltzer on the table. The CEO also has 2 unique phases based on how long I'm in this round, being Reorganize, which increases his damage to 18 per hit while disabling one of the conveyor belts of snacks after 15 minutes have passed, and Downsize, which infinitely scales his damage over time, and disabling the second conveyor belt after 30 minutes have passed. It's somewhat of a soft timer for this fight, but if I just dodge his attacks, then I also don't really need to worry about it. After some table rotations and trying to set up the CEO in a convenient spot, I eventually managed to get the CEO right in front of a table, but facing away from it. I abuse his slow attack patterns by jumping onto the table and hitting him with a couple 2 damage shots, then hopping off before he can attack again. This results in the CEO being unable to move, as he can only move when trying to run over a seltzering player, and since I hop off right as he's about to attack, I'm always able to dodge whatever he throws at me, even giving me extra time to react since he has to turn his body around before attacking, unless it's a 4, which has a long startup anyway. I repeat this almost all the way until he dies, only being able to barely start turning at a few occasions because I get a little greedy with my damage at points. Near the end of the fight though, he finally commits to a turn and forces me to hop off a table and move to another one. But he's so low on health anyway, that any hit will kill at this point. A couple more shots do the trick, and the CEO goes down, demoting to a flunky. Surprisingly enough, I was able to deal enough DPS to only get to his Reorganize phase, as this round only lasted about 25 minutes. A bit of an anticlimactic ending, but I was able to cleanly take out the CEO and get a singular pink slip for my efforts. A reward that couldn't be used at all in this run anyway, due to the order I went with for the bosses and my own restrictions.